All right, so let's talk about picking a professor. Picking the right professor for you is really going to make a huge difference in your ability to digest the information in class. And not every class is, not every teacher and every professor you're going to have is going to be witty and well-spoken and engaging and cover all the material that you need to do, and just kind of goes. The number one complaint that students have at school is, oh man, these my professors stink, and everyone, they get one or two good ones throughout their career. So it's just a fact, by the way. If you go through 4 to 6 years of college, you're going to run into some bad professors. It's just kind of how it works out, but we want to try to minimize this as much as possible. So we have some tips to help you out. Number one, check out the website ratemyprofessor.com. And a very good website. It will definitely help you out. It's about, a lot of students will go on there and rate their professors at the end of the semester or during the semester. Now, anytime you're talking to students, you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. Okay, a student fails the class, they go on to rate my professor, this professor sucked, and you don't know, maybe the student didn't even go to the class. So you want to try to look at professors or classes who have had, like, I'd say 20 or more ratings, students, rating them, and look at that as like a good sample size on that website. Now, obviously, if you're going to a bigger school, you're going to have more students who will go to that website and will rate their professors. I would also take the time for yourself to go and rate your professors. But a lot of professors will actually go to ratemyprofessor.com and see how they're doing, and so to see if their class is good. And if their professors don't, then if the professors don't do it themselves, then the people who hire them do, to see who likes what classes and all that kind of stuff. So make sure to rate your professor as well. But you can go on there. Main things you want to look for is, do they speak English, or if you speak English, is that something, or how well do they speak? If you see a lot of them saying couldn't understand what he was saying half the time because of the accent or whatever, that's going to be a challenge for you. So that's one of the main things you want to look for on there. It gave a lot of assignments, did this, explained the assignments, test was related to what they explained. You can look at those types of things. Most students won't type out a lot, they'll just give a rating. Takes a couple seconds, but go onto that website, really check it out, and that'll help you out. Another thing you could do is, with social media, is ask other people who've had the class. Okay, so it helps a lot with Facebook and Twitter and these types of things. You can join groups for your college on Facebook, and with your major or with your the field of study that you're going down, and ask what tweet they'll say, which teachers. You can just throw up on there on a forum or on a blog or on a Facebook question to the group. How is Mr. So-and-so? How is Mrs. So-and-so? How are they? Did you like their class? Did you not like the class? That kind of stuff. And people will write back to you. They'll say what they'll say with their opinions, and then you obviously have to make a decision based upon what you're seeing there. So also, if you're on a part of a team or a club, I know, like, when I played football, there was 100 football players all took the same class all the time, because the upperclassmen would tell the freshmen, like, take this class or take that guy because he's easy and he's, it's this and this and that, and they love football or whatever. And so, so if you're a part of fraternity or sorority, you can ask the people in the fraternity or sorority, ask the upperclassmen. If you're a freshman or a sophomore, it's not like, people aren't like, again, it's not high school. They're not going to like, oh, freshman, how dare you ask me? They'll just help. People like helping, and you can ask those questions. So don't be afraid to ask. Third tip is, go sit in the class. Okay, so now if you're in the college already, you can look at what your classes you're going to take the next semester. You can start early and go and sit in a class of a professor. Find out when it is and go sit and watch and listen for a couple minutes. If you're in high school and you're going to go to a community college, or you're going to go to a college that's local, go and sit in a couple of classes. And so I know the idea of sitting in a class when you don't have to sit in a class is like, shoot yourself. But you don't have to stay for the entire class. By the way, most classes, they don't take attendance. You just kind of walk in, sit down, and if they are taking attendance, it's not to find out who, if there's somebody who's in the class who's not supposed to be in the class. It's more of who's not in the class that's supposed to be in the class. So you can go hang out for a little bit and then take off and just listen to the professor talk a little bit and see if it's something that you like, and if they have, again, if they're speaking English, if they have a good accent, if they're a little engaging, you can always you can do that and take a peek. So just understand. So you're never, again, you're gonna have one or two professors that you just don't like. You can't eliminate all the bad professors. It's just not possible. However, you can minimize it by using these techniques.